Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise this evening to give valedictory remarks as my service as a United States representative comes to a close. Nearly 32 years ago, I arrived in this chamber after the people of the most distinguished congressional district in our country gave me the honor of a lifetime to serve as their representative in the Congress. Over those years, I've worked to live up to that sacred trust that they placed in me, and I can say that I've given it my all. In 1993, I was sworn in as a member of the largest freshman class since World War II, with 110 new members, and one of the 47 women elected in the House in that year of the woman. I was the first Democrat and the first woman in the history of my congressional district to represent it. During that time, I had the honor to serve among the giants of the Bay Area Delegation: Congressman George Miller, Congressman Norm Minetta, so many from the Bay Area, known as the conscience of the House of Representatives, and my forever Speaker, Nancy Pelosi. They gave me the guidance I needed to accomplish my goals for my first term. And in my second term, I became a member of the House Energy and Commerce Committee, the committee, one of the oldest House committee, legislative committee, and the committee with the broadest of jurisdictions. From that powerful position of enormous privilege, I was determined to be an ambassador to the future from Silicon Valley, from that district, drafting and passing 68 bills into law signed by 5 presidents. I didn't do this alone. Nearly every single bill was bipartisan, and many had more than 200 co-sponsors. I'm proud of this body of work and what we achieved together. During my tenure, I've witnessed much. We've witnessed much together. The horror of September 11th, the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, a painful and deep recession, the loss of over 1 million American souls to the pandemic, and January 6th. But there were so many high points. The passage many years ago in 1995 of the Telecommunications Act, the Affordable Care Act, where finally we had a national health plan, a real health plan for the American people, the Violence Against Women's Act, the end of over 100 years of silence by the United States with the passage of the Armenian Genocide Resolution, and the election of the first woman Speaker of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi. Each weekend, I have flown home to be with my constituents, and I've seen the words of the laws that we have written walk into people's lives. In my community, as in so many others, federal grants paved new bike paths, created ADA accessibility, and unveiled a 21st century transportation system of electric trains. I heard from my neighbors about small improvements, like my law many years ago to lower the volume of loud TV commercials, and big improvements like children whose lives were saved because of new pediatric treatments at Stanford's Lucille Packard Children's Hospital. I'm especially proud to have created 2 new federal agencies to bring life-saving research to the American people: the Biomedical Advanced Research Development Authority, we call it BARDA, and the Advanced Research Projects Agency for Health, ARPA-H. That agency is at work today to pursue the cures for those diseases that are death sentences today. During my tenure, I had the privilege to serve on the House Intelligence Committee, where I worked to protect and defend during the challenging times of the Iraq War, and to visit our courageous troops in the war zones where they were serving. I still picture them in the places that they were. these young men and women who answered the call of our country. One of the most memorable events for me that took place right here in this chamber was the visit of Pope Francis in 2015. And I recall his words, "A nation can be considered great when it defends liberty, as Lincoln did, when it fosters a culture which enables people to dream of full rights for all their brothers and sisters, as Martin Luther King sought to do, when it strives for justice and the cause of the oppressed, as Dorothy Day did by her tireless work." And my brother-in-law carries forward that work with the Catholic Worker House in Redwood City, California. To my staff, you have been a brilliant team, a team that has crafted and negotiated the legislative legacy that I'm so proud of, and who have successfully helped thousands upon thousands of constituents with their immigration issues, with their housing needs, with their Social Security benefits, and other important federal issues. You heard them, you saw them, you served them, and you gave them hope. I thank you. To all who work in this chamber and throughout the Capitol, cleaning, cooking, repairing, and administering, I thank you for your labors. To my colleagues, all of my colleagues, I'm grateful to you for your friendship and your support over all the years. I'll miss working with you and seeing you every day. To my beloved California delegation, to say that I will miss working with you and being with you doesn't begin to describe it. Thank you for keeping our state the golden one in our country, and I know that you'll continue to. For your precious friendships, I can never thank you enough. And to the Connecticut delegation, thank you for adopting me. I was born in Connecticut. To the people of California's 16th Congressional District, you have my unending gratitude for choosing me to be your voice in Congress. And to my family, thank you for your love, your support, most of all, your patience. You've sustained me every single day of my service. And while it may be customary to end these farewell speeches with advice or warnings about the future, I'm not going to do that. What I've carried with me throughout my public service are the words of my grandmother. When I was a child and I would walk past her bedroom every morning, there wasn't a time that she didn't lean over and kiss the ground. And when I asked her, "Nana, why are you doing that?" this was her answer: to thank God for this country, for what it represents and what it has given to us. So, my colleagues, love our country, defend her, make her stronger and better to serve its good and decent people. I thank God for the blessings that have come to me, and I say farewell to all of you, my colleagues. This has been the joy, the privilege, and the pleasure of my life, and I thank you for it. May God continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you.